Hi, everybody. It's Sam Bennett from the Organized Artist Company, and I want to talk to you a little bit around this idea of making money and the starving artist myth. You know, you may have some stuff in your head around making money from your creativity, something that says, well, you can't make money doing that. Nobody makes money doing that. Or a belief that it's selfish. Maybe it's selfish for you to pursue a career as a writer or a performer or an artist, a visual artist. Or maybe you have a thought in your head that says nobody's going to pay for that. Or they're certainly not going to pay enough to make it worth my while, all the time and blood and sweat and tears I put into this work. There's no way I can make enough money back to make that worthwhile. Maybe you believe you're not qualified. I don't have a master's degree. Who am I? I'm not famous. Who's going to pay me for that, right? Maybe you have that voice in your head. And maybe you've bought into this whole thing that sometimes you hear people talking about that says, well, publishing is dead. Music is dead because nobody buys CDs anymore. It's just dead, and clog dancing is dead, and opera is dead, and ocarina playing is dead, and calligraphy is dead. It's not dead. Art is never dead. Storytelling is never dead. It's the only thing that's never dead. It's the only thing that enlivens us in our culture. We cannot go 2 minutes without a good story. And that's what art does. It tells stories to us. So I understand that way of thinking because I thought it too. I believed it too, when I was struggling in Los Angeles, and my life was this incredibly complicated mess of part-time jobs and semi-full-time jobs and projects and gigs and shows and classes and running around from pillar to post all day long, 18 hours a day. I was exhausted. I was having a lot of fun, but I was exhausted, and I was incredibly broke. Super duper baroque. And, when you're living a life of constant lack, when the whole world is filled with things that you feel like you can't afford, you feel like you can't afford to go to the fancy dinner, and you feel like you can't afford to sign up for that workshop, and you feel like you can't afford to buy that new sweater, and you can't afford to take the trip, and you can't afford to give money to the nonprofit, to Doctors Without Borders or whatever you like. You can't afford to take a train trip, for crying out loud. This is a very discouraging way of being. And not only does it run you down and exhaust you, but it also starts to deplete your self-belief in your own creativity. So I'm here to tell you, you can make money from your creativity anytime you want. And in fact, it is your creativity. It is your unique way of looking at the world, your completely wackadoodle take on things, your imagination. That's the very thing we're going to harness to help you figure out what is the incredibly unique and feel great way that you can make the money you want to make anytime you want to make it. Now, I'm not saying you got to be a billionaire or that you're going to have a super fancy life. I don't have a super fancy life, but it is nice to be able to take that trip, invest in that workshop, buy a nice present for your niece or nephew, do all the things that having a little extra money can allow you to do. Really be in the driver's seat of those decisions rather than having every decision be determined by, well, I can't afford it, well, I can't afford it, well, I can't afford it. Plus, you get the additional great feeling of knowing that you are contributing your work to the world in a way that matters. And I can tell you that it works. I can tell you that it's possible. If you had told me 10 years that my life was my life today, I don't know if I would have believed you or not. My life today is filled with teaching and writing and speaking and sharing, and I have plenty of time to be with my friends and do my prayer work and take beach walks and go on trips and take workshops and do all the things that I love to do and have all the little luxuries I love to have. I love to buy the expensive cheese at the grocery store. It's really fun. And know that my life is so full and so rich and so much better than when I was slaving away at those dumb office jobs where I felt like I was leaving 50% of myself at the door. You get to the building and you go, wow, who I am as a creative person isn't welcome in this building. Who I am as a woman, who I am as a sexual person, who I am as a spiritual person, who I am as a playful person, those parts of me aren't welcome here. And then you go through the day feeling like you're just half there. And that's really depressing. So I want you to create a bridge out of this myth of the starving artist, out of this myth that there isn't enough money, out of this myth that you can't make money doing what you love, because I know that you can. So I'm offering this webinar called How to Make $1,000. And I've done it before and it's worked every single time. And I could try to explain to you what happens in it, but it's sort of something you have to experience, right? But the idea is kind of that I sort of walk you in the side door of your beliefs about money and spin you around 3 times and access your own incredible creative imagination, intuition, wisdom, and sprinkle a little fairy dust around, and then give you some super practical advice around marketing and sales with integrity and joy, and how to do all that. And I have a special genius for helping people figure out business models that really work for them. And then poof, you have a plan. I know, it sounds kind of incredible, but that's how it works. And my pledge, my Girl Scout pledge, is that I will not get off the webinar until every single person on that call feels like they are looking at a piece of paper where they've got a workable plan for them. It's not like I'm going to give you some general plan that's going to work for everybody. This is not a cookie cutter thing, because you're not a cookie cutter. You're not a cookie. You might be sweet, but you're not a cookie. So you're going to end up with a plan that's perfect for you, for your talents, for your skills, for your life, for your personality, for the way you like to be in the world. It's going to be personalized to you. That's what you're going to walk away with, is your very own personalized plan, so that you can make $1,000 anytime you want, and you can do it over and over again. You can do it over and over again, and you can even do it with different projects and different ways to make money. Because once you know the system, you can do it anytime, right? I recognize now that one webinar isn't always enough, so I've got a follow-up webinar a couple of weeks later so that I can answer your questions, answer your success questions, talk about things that have gone sideways. Sometimes people start on a path, you know how this happens, you make a commitment, you start on a new thing, and then something crazy and wonderful happens, and then how do you manage that? So I'll be there to answer those questions for as long as you have them on that second webinar. You also get a full year of support in the 365 Club. So that's a monthly open Q&A call with me, in addition to a private Facebook group and access to a ton of recordings and articles and other inspirational and really practical information that's not available anywhere else. Only the 365 Club members have access to those recordings. And it's an amazing group. It's an amazing group. It's an amazing community. And like I said, it's a call with me every month, so you can ask me ongoingly, you know, as your plan to make $1,000 continues to unfold over and over again, you can keep coming back to me with questions about how to make it work better, what went wrong, here's this difficulty, what do I do about that? I'm happy to answer all of those. So you will not be left alone with your plan. You will have my support all the way through. The other thing you get as a special bonus is a free ticket to the Big Big Yes. The Big Big Yes is a 3-day event that I've done. This is the 3rd year I've done it. It is the most fun I have all year. It's called The Big Big Yes, How to Overcome Procrastination, Perfectionism, and Self-Doubt, and make $10,000 or more from your creativity. We're doing it this year at the Westin LAX in Los Angeles, so we're very convenient right there at the airport. We've got great food and great people and incredible teaching. I will be there showing the way. I really believe that there is a new form of entrepreneurship happening in this country, and it's very feminine, and it's very, which is not to say it's only about women, of course not, it's for men and women, but it's very feminine in its nature, you know, it's very open and transparent and very much about relationships and very much about generosity and very much about sharing and very much about the long term, very much about authenticity. And I think that creative people are leading the way in this. It is more possible than ever before to get your work out to the people who already love it, who are already searching for it. You know, you never have to sell anybody on anything. You just have to find the people who already want what you have. So that's what the Big Big Yes is about. It's an amazing 3 days. It's like the best summer camp family reunion of all time. That's really what it's like. And finally, if you are one of the first 10 people to enroll, you can get a private one-on-one session with me. Now, you may or may not know, I don't do a lot of one-on-one work. I don't have a lot of private clients. Mostly my schedule just doesn't allow for it. So this is a pretty unique opportunity for you and I just to talk one-on-one about what's going on with you, and for you to get my brain working on your business exclusively, for the time that we have together. So, oh, if I haven't put up this little button yet, I certainly should. So you can go to, you can click the button. If you're not already watching this on the sales page, you can click the button to go to the page that tells you more about what's going on with this How to Make $1,000 webinar. Or if you're watching it somewhere else, there's a bit.ly link. It's bit.ly/how1000. So it's lowercase HOW 1000, 1000, bit.ly/how1000. And that'll take you to the page that explains, like I said, a little bit more about this. So the webinar is happening next week, Saturday, May 16th. This does not give you a lot of time to decide, because I don't want you to have a lot of time to decide. This is not a pondering thing. Check in with yourself right now. Is this the right thing for me? Is this really what I need right now? If the answer is yes, then make the decision. And don't even worry about whether or not you can afford it. First of all, you're going to make the money back right away. And second of all, you know how it is when you make a decision, right? The money shows up. I don't know how, I don't know why. It just does. It just does. So decide first. Do you really want to do this? Is this important to you? Are you ready to find a new solution to this same old problem? If yes, then I hope you'll join me. If you have any questions, please reach out. We'd love to talk to you. And remember that the world needs your art. The world needs your story. The world needs your vision, your healing, your input. The world needs you showing up 100%. And we don't have forever to do our work. So don't let this opportunity pass you by. Don't tell yourself you're not ready. Believe me, if you felt ready, it would be too late. Nobody feels ready. Trust your intuition. And if this is right, I hope that I will see you on the How to Make $1,000 webinar, the follow-up call, the Year of 365 calls, and then at the Big Yes, July 9th to the 12th at the Westin LAX in Los Angeles this summer. Thank you so much for spending this time with me, and let me know how it goes for you, okay? Well, look, there's Chester. Hi, kitty. Bye, everybody.